Welcome to the Conscious Hour. It's November 27th, day before Thanksgiving. I got an idea. Let's give thanks we haven't blown up the world yet. But now let's get after the lies and deception of the Western media. And the one I'm going to talk about this morning real quickly is NATO and NATO expansion. You hear on the media that there was never any agreement that there would be no further NATO expansion. They're lying to you. Facts matter. And I'm just going to put a little picture up here just for fun. You can see this picture here. This is Camp David. Well, on July 15th, 1990, George H.W. Bush stated very clearly there would be no further expansion of NATO. My goodness. In 1990, in May, Mikhail Gorbachev flew to the United States and met the president. Same statement. So how is it that we get here and these lies are continually being told, and like that statement, no further expansion, never existed? Putin's telling you the truth. Excuse me. We were allies with you in World War I and World War II. We just want you, the West, after the war, don't expand closer to Russia or sovereign. So how did they do this? How did they get this expansion? It's real simple. Have wars. So let's go down the little trail here. So let's talk about wars. Now remember the dates. This is 1990. We have an agreement. No more expansion. Oh, but then I go out and do some research. I thought, well, there was a whole bunch of wars afterwards. Okay, so, yep, 1995, Kosovo War. In 2004, there's massive expansion of NATO, 2009, 2017, 2020, on to the future. But let's go to Bulgaria, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, bringing the total membership to the alliance to 26. Oh, they had all these wars, and then they thought, well, we could put you in the NATO alliance. So we had all these wars. Well, look at what's going on. The Zionists control the United States of America. The Zionists control Britain. The Zionists control Germany. We'll stop there. I don't want to get too deep. The Zionists basically are a radical group of people that believe that they can control the world. And they are moving forward in that entity. We have this war that we're dealing with right now because of Israel. And Israel has shown to the world who they are. So this expansion process is allowed to happen and will continue to happen as long as the Western media only gives you that Putin is the enemy, that Putin's a threat, Russia's a threat. They weren't a threat in World War I. They weren't a threat in World War II. And if you take the Camp David Accord, the meetings, peace agreements, they said there would be no further expansion. But it is continued. It's continued. And I have to look at the total number now. There's 26 in the alliance. And we're blaming Russia for all of this. It doesn't even make sense, does it? No, they're lying to you. Let's talk about Ukraine. Let's talk about the southern part of Ukraine. Let's look at Russia. Ukrainians, the southern part, Russian speaking. When Russia decided to come into Ukraine, they were sending a signal, look it, we don't need you to have a war. You don't need to push this further expansion. But in that history, we have to remember something, that they had a coup d'etat, the United States government did, and they removed the president of Ukraine, who was democratically elected. Who's they? The CIA and the Zionists. They're the same. James Baker, doesn't make any difference who you have, doesn't. Donald Trump, he is part of the same problem. Why? Because he wants to expand Israel. Donald Trump, with Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, is part of the greater Israel expansion program. And I'm not making this stuff up, folks. Jared Kushner was at Harvard University in February talking about waterfront real estate in Gaza. And then in May, it was April, in the third week of April, he was in Gaza, on the ground, with all the buildings blowing up around him, promoting the excellent waterfront real estate opportunities that are coming. Follow the money, but you have to follow the lies of deception of those people we call bureaucrats, or those people we call our presidents and our secretaries of states and the head of the CIA. They have never brought peace to the world. They've always perpetuated invasions and stealing resources. So let's reflect back on where we are the day before Thanksgiving. I guess we can give thanks to the media because we have the ability to transmit massive amounts of information via the internet. It's time for you all in TV land to turn off ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, all of the Western media, because they have you brainwashed, meaning they've given you information that's one-sided. We've always been in perpetual war. We've had some presidents that came up and said, we don't want to have any more wars. Bill Clinton, well, CIA and all of that. Barack Obama, look what he did. Maker of peace. Hillary Clinton, all of them. They don't represent the American public. They represent the interests of the military-industrial complex, which is the Zionists. And they are spread throughout major countries in the world that control this war machine. So when we talk about getting out of this war, I see a way out. It's an easy way out. But it cannot allow the vision of a greater Israel to continue. The Greater Israel Project is a death sentence for the world. And I mean that seriously. So we'll talk about Zelensky for a second. Just a second. I don't want to waste much time. When he was put into office by the CIA, I cracked up. I literally did. I went, you gotta be kidding. They put a president in office that's a comedian? I thought, well, cool. He's going to build support with all of the Ukrainian people for his vision. It's not his vision, but the vision he's been hired to push forward, which is the consolidation of Ukraine as part of NATO. Now, if Mr. Gorbachev was alive, He's rolling in his grave, but if he was alive, he would stand up and speak the truth. And all of these gentlemen standing around at this meeting here, agreeing no further expansion, would finally tell the truth that we need to stop this escalation immediately. Why? Remember a few days ago when Russia launched that incredible missile system? I can't remember the name, Bershenko or whatever it's called. I can't remember the name of it right this second, but they launched that. That to me was exciting. Somebody says, what are you, a Russian? Or you support? No, it was exciting because they have a weapon that can stop all this nonsense. And how did Russia get to that point to create such a sophisticated weapon system? Because these agreements that the West would never further expand, he could see clearly expansion was not stopping. He could see clearly that the Zionists and the CIA want their natural resources. So he built a weapon that nobody can touch, nobody. But it can, with the power of its bombs, not using nuclear, destroy any enemy that's out there. And there's nothing the West can do. Let's go back to Gaza. Hand-to-hand combat, killing, we're going after the terrorists, and in fact we're just killing and mass murdering all these children and women and families, grandmas and grandpas and uncles and cousins and nephews, for what? So Jared Kushner, Donald Trump, and the left side investors, I don't want to just pick on Donald Trump, I'll pick on the President of the United States right now, if you can find him. Or Kamala, come along. They don't care. They don't care about America. They don't care about you. We will spend in this war trillions of dollars. And look at you in America on Thanksgiving and ask yourself a question. Does the government represent your values and principles? Has our government made your life easier? Do you get actually paid a livable wage in America? According to the government, $79,000 to $80,500. You don't get it. Why? They don't care about you. Never did. So in this final message of Thanksgiving coming up, we need peace. We need people to come together and have a conversation. And when you have a meeting like this, and you make an agreement, and then you have the audacity or the balls to come out and say, oh, we never agreed. I've had enough. Have you? Pick up the phone. Call Congress. Tell them to shut it all down. And if you don't pick up the phone, and you don't make the calls, and Congress does nothing, then what's coming next, nobody is going to like. Because the neocons now want to go after Russia. And they're using a coke addict, yes, I don't even want to mention his name, the comedian, Zelensky. You think he has the intelligence to create a settlement? No. He's been paid handsomely, hundreds of millions of dollars to be the West's little bitch to destroy Russia. And that's where we are. Make the phone call. Thanks for tuning into the Conscious Hour. Have a wonderful blessing on Thanksgiving. Peace and love. It's what we all need now, not politicians. This is the Conscious Hour. Please spread the word. Let people know that we're just starting to broadcast, but we're here creating solutions. Right now, it's wake up, speak out. Thanks.